Well, nothing. Sixth review of Dandadan. I'm recording this on November 9th, so you can get an idea of how quickly I'm trying to get these videos out. Not that you can complain that a review YouTuber delivers 2 videos on the same day, like I did I don't know how long ago. Anyway, before we start, remember that at the end of the videos, I always respond to comments that I find funny from the previous video. Feel free to post any funny comments you have. You might get a shout out from me in the next video. Now, without further ado, let's continue with the turbo video. The protagonist's new goal is to find Okarun's balls, which the useless old woman threw away. That's when Turbo Grandma explains that Okarun's balls were coated with the old woman's spiritual membrane. And now they have the physical appearance of gold spheres, so it should be quite easy to find them, right? A gold sphere wouldn't catch anyone's attention, right? And yet, despite literally looking for shiny gold in the middle of the night, they can't find anything at all. According to Grandma Mob, spirits are attracted to objects of that caliber. But also, let's be honest, even when it comes to people as obsessed with manners as the Japanese are, anyone who notices a gold ball on the ground will likely stop to investigate it further. With no search results, they worry that someone may have accidentally taken Okarun's balls. The elderly woman refuses to help, stating that she's just a powerless kitten compared to them. Will I surpass you even though you could perfectly paper me now? And in fact, they do it from time to time. The old lady's attempts to intimidate them are ironic, considering she's aware they could hit her and she'd be defenseless. But it's quite amusing to see her trying to act tough with that cute kitten appearance. They return to Seiko to inform her that the search for the balls was futile. And from what this last one talks with her contacts, to see if any of them saw some tiny little balls around there. Before leaving, Seiko reminds Okarun of the words she said earlier, noting that they were her literal words, not Okarun's. She possesses the power of one of the most powerful spirits known and can also use the will, so they should be cautious. Literally, my buddy has a hydrogen bomb stuck up his ass but without balls, so nothing, another day at school and enjoy. But as soon as he enters his living room, some kids intercept Okarun and ask him in a mocking tone if he is dating Momo. After all, she is pretty cute according to these boys. And that's when our protagonist realizes a reality he hadn't noticed. The historical event that he finally had a friend completely blinded him to the fact that he finds this friend very attractive, which is quite sweet. My buddy longed all his life to have someone to talk to about the topics he liked. To the point that he completely ignored a person who, in fact, he likes a lot. He completely ignored that area, which is very positive. Upon realizing this, he gets very nervous. But right after, the buddy who told him all this says, "Hey, so have you guys had sex yet? Because if not, I would like you to introduce her to me. Because I've heard on the network that she spreads her legs just by asking." And faced with such words, any warning he might have given, Seiko went completely to hell. Okarun firmly grabs his buddy as he transforms at school. But fortunately for the young man, Okarun realizes what he's doing and lets go of the boy and simply goes to his seat. And here, I guess that's all. The issue that ordinary humans are not able to see spirits or anything related to them implies that they also can't see Okarun transformed, meaning what they saw was simply Okarun. There, Skinny, grabbing the kid's shirt when he had suddenly transformed, curious to say the least. That will surely lead to strange future situations. So poor Okarun runs to his seat, trying to completely ignore that he was about to do a lot of harm to a guy. While he may not be the most polite person, he didn't deserve what was likely to happen to him. Or maybe he did. I don't know, you decide. To make matters worse, the kitten with the old woman's spirit got into the backpack. He panics and runs off to talk to her in secret. The old lady's meddling is amusing. He notes it's been a while since he was in a school, and this one seems clean, unlike his own. Considering the time she's been in this world, perhaps the schools she got to see were more rustic, let's say. Or maybe she's referring to those schools that were destroyed. By the way, an event that occurred in the 40s in that country, which I prefer not to mention, because otherwise this video is going to go to the nuclear bombs, nuclear bombs, nuclear bombs. Okay, leaving the jokes aside, what the hell is this cat doing here? Seiko herself knows perfectly well that this old lady no longer represents any problem, so she told her to just live her life as if she were a normal cat. Because clearly nothing would absolutely happen if an evil spirit goes around. As if nothing, it's not as if she now has a physical body with which she can physically harm another human being. The elderly woman, noticing Okarun's stress, proposes to possess him once more to handle his issues, which Okarun evidently understands as a trap on her part, and he refuses as is normal. Just then, Momo shows up, asking what on earth is wrong with the kid. He not only tells her he has the turbo grandmother in his backpack, but can't even look her in the face. Now that he's realized his only friend is a cute girl, he can't look her in the eyes for more than 5 seconds without peeing himself, causing the latter to start chasing him, because of course the last few days they have practically been best friends. And from one second to another he can't or doesn't want to look at her. All this while the old lady explores the school and chill. Momo's friends ask her if she had a fight with her boyfriend when she returns to her classes. She says she feels bad because he has been avoiding her, only to clarify later that he is not her boyfriend. Well, this is like when Nagatoro and Senpai, we're not dating, well, whatever you say, but when are you inviting to the wedding? I found it funny that she first said she felt bad about being ignored by him before clarifying he's not her boyfriend. That's an important detail. But also, her friends tell her something quite interesting. Oh girl, didn't you know? There were some guys saying nasty things about you, and your boyfriend? He got really angry. I heard he nearly killed the guy, which only increases Momo's doubts about why Okarun is avoiding her. We'll return to that later. For now, I'm so stunningly beautiful and unattainable that all the guys stare at me with their jaws dropped. But since I'm so beautiful and benevolent, I turn around and greet them as if I like them. Because I'm such a good gal that I gave myself the luxury of greeting these idiots, but here they think they're special gal. I mean, how good they are. The thing is that this bitch, besides being unbearable and egocentric, does not forget. Because it was her who spread the negative sexual rumors about Momo. Because that day, when she almost killed her with that metal container, she managed to notice something curious. Aira saw the psychic hands Momo generates with her powers, but mistook them for demon wings just like the moms. When people see Hello Kitty, they interpret it as greeting a demon. The Nintendos, Segas, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, whatever, the Japanese discovered that playing on the Nintendo by the light will cause epilepsy. There are 2 epilepsies, one is a disease, the other is a demon. Listen well, enough already. But how could she see Momo's powers? This suggests she also has powers. Well, no, not exactly. She just found Okarun's balls and was grabbing them. Just like that, Mirad has testicles in her hand, dirty slut. Additionally, the golden sphere landed on her head, hitting her in the face. Awful. By touching the sphere, she witnessed the precise moment when the Turbo Granny was defeated atop the train. The elderly woman threw Okarun's balls right when they were about to disintegrate her, disregarding everyone else. For what's left of me in the convent, I shit inside. And now look at a close-up of Aira's hand, gently caressing that golden ball. Aira's friends give her exorcism tools after a pinnacle anime comedy moment involving a guy's testicles. Curiously, although Aira claims to see a woman in a red dress on the field, a woman that no one else can see. All of this being witnessed by the Turbo Granny in the form of a cat, secretly. For a moment, I thought it could be Turbo Granny herself up to her tricks, but it turns out that this supposed woman in the dress is something else. Let's return to the story of the girl and the cowardly guy, leaving exorcisms for another discussion. Okarun still can't face Momo directly, and the latter keeps constantly fighting with Turbo Granny. The latter claims she saw a suspicious woman lurking around there, because surprisingly he has been making an effort to find the guy's balls. As we theorized initially, it's possible that the person who picked up Okarun's balls is indeed an ordinary person, not a spirit. The problem is that if a human picked up that sphere, they could develop spiritual powers, which would make that person capable of seeing spirits, but it would also make the spirits see the person to attack them, which could be a problem for them. The pink-haired slug, which by the way really amuses me. They emphasize how he caresses the golden ball, admiring its beauty, richness, and how good it feels. After class, Momo and Okarun prepare to search for the little eggs, but right there they are intercepted by Aira, who very kindly asks Momo to accompany her. So she goes. Okarun is left alone with the Turbo Grandmother, but the latter tells him that, oh, well, it's about her, the one who has the nerve. So Momo is taken to an abandoned warehouse. It's like, when do you see it as a good idea to go in there? If someone I don't know, who is like an acquaintance from seeing him, tells me to go in there to talk, it's like, we don't need to go in there to talk. I don't know, this makes no sense. Momo seems like a smart person. I don't know at what point you think it's a good idea to go in there. Yes, it's clear that the redhead seems like a harmless retard, but you never know. But anyway, are they Japanese? In their country, stating that the sushi isn't delicious is considered the gravest offense. That's when Aira appears with her cross and her Bible, ready to exorcise the demon. Momo uses her psychic powers to send her friends flying. And I don't know about you, but I already found it strange that Momo herself could withstand so much damage in her first chapters. But that, at least, we could justify with psychic powers. Momo has tossed around the 2 ordinary teenage girls as if they were garbage. I mean, they should be dead or with all their ribs broken, on the brink of death with internal bleeding, etc. But Aira remains on top of him, so he puts the cross right in her face, and when that fails, he puts the golden sphere in her face. finally, my buddy, when I tell him to eat my fucking balls. Luckily, Momo realizes and tries to tell her that the ball is Okarun's, but Aira doesn't want to listen. That's when Okarun himself shows up to warn him that the woman Tobabuela saw earlier was not Aira, but that Aira herself was the target of the woman. A giant evil spirit appearing in the form of a woman claiming to be Aira's mother grabs Aira with its hands. She claims that as a child she once accidentally called her mother, which brought her great joy. But she seems to be too reactive and violent, so Okarun tries to attack her unsuccessfully. Then Momo does the same, also without success. Meanwhile, Aira is held by the spirit's grotesque hands, revealing Okarun's inexperience. Because despite having the best powers practically in the series, this spirit, ranked as 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, destroys him in combat like any other spirit. According to what Turbo Granny commented, it seems that experience is also essential in combat against spirits. But anyway, Turbo Granny appears right there among the rubble, who for some reason has the phone number of Muko, Momo's friend with strange makeup. I mean, she stole it. Basically, she swiped it. Why does Turbo Granny have a phone in this situation? Turns out the old lady is so damn narcissistic that unless it's a spirit stronger than her, she's not interested in knowing anything about any other spirit, so she has to Google it. All this while Aira continues with her thing of, hey, but I'm the world's savior. I'm the one who has to defeat the demon because I don't know what. Upon hearing these horrible things, the spirit devours her and Okarun. Notably, we could literally say that spirit ate Okarun's balls. Although if someone eats you whole, like for example, if Galactus comes and eats the planet, he's eating 4 billion dicks. In summary, only Momo and Turbo Granny remain in the competition. But the latter plays it cool saying, oh, I'd love to help you, but certain little people took away my powers. So, poof babe, I'm sorry. And Momo is held by the hairs of the spirit, which he uses to slam her against the scaffolding. And let's hope that here he is also using his psychic magic to protect her. Because, mother of blessed Christ, what a 15-year-old girl endures is insane. The spirit gives Momo one last chance to call her mommy and maybe spare her life. But the latter, not even crazy, thinks about doing it because she is very cool and the spirit eats her. But then the mob grandmother appears and with her 2 balls tells him to let the children go or will he have to deal with her. And even though the spirit tries to act cool with her, the mob grandmother is now a fortune cat. And as such, she can turn chance into reality, that is, she brings fortune. Aira's friends deceived her as the cross they gave her was actually a lighter. Momo, who was swallowed by the spirit along with her hair, used the lighter to burn her hair from inside the spirit, managing to make her spit out all 3 of them, saving Aira and ready for a second round, but that second round will have to wait for the next chapter. That's for sure if my editor manages to get this review out before the next chapter comes out. Hello, little snail, how are you? Yes, 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 tell the audience that you're a bad boy. Yes, that's it, good boy. Well, nothing. Another very entertaining chapter of Dandadan. It may not be the masterpiece that everyone is selling it as, but no one can take away that, at least in this anime, everything is quite entertaining. If the manga turns out to be boring, I can check it out myself. It keeps going up though. The animation is stunning. As usual, I'm fascinated by the series' portrayal of the Turbo grandmother character. The final boss is introduced at the start, but now she's portrayed as a cute and adorable character that also has a role to play. I really like it. I have a weakness for this type of characterization and these kinds of tricks. I can't wait for the crazy grandmother to say, damn, I rebel, which wouldn't surprise anyone. And now, your favorite section, your Chinese Monkeys YouTuber, will read your comments. Kevin tells us the snail but Belche, Okarun's eggs, the general Belche essence, the mob grandmother. Imagine we are in a forest, Goyo tells us. The most shonen rom-com of all, that progresses faster in romance than all the rom-coms that have ever existed, right? Without a doubt, shonen sometimes have the best romances. See Black Clover. And I can't think of any more, just like that, right now, off the top of my head. But I'm sure there are, I don't know, Naruto and Sasuke, Goku and Vegeta, they count. Dogomani tells us, Dandadan, without having guts, does more than any average read-only memory. As I said before, the bar isn't set very high. Geoffrey tells us, Belzet, don't take my little chili, I'm sorry, but I need it. That's how the great-grandmother wanted it. Aaron says when he gets a cat, he'll name it Okarun and have it neutered. Sterilizing a cat can make it more affectionate, according to something I've read. It may or may not be good, or it could be animal cruelty. Does it really matter? And, well, thanks for getting this far. See you in a couple of days with another video. And don't forget, if one day you see the protagonist of a work you like acting without eggs, remember that Okarun, even without eggs, fought against the devil. Food for thought. Good afternoon.